सर आवाज नहीं आ रही सर।
Hello, are you able to hear me now? अभी आ रही आवाज?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as I was telling you about diabetes mellitus, the other day you were talking about type 1 diabetes, which is basically because of an autoimmune condition where your own what do you call immune cells are destroying your beta cells, and in turn because of which insulin is not being secreted. No insulin will ultimately lead to glucose being accumulated into your body, because of which that condition is insulin dependent diabetes, right? Now some common symptoms that you will see in both type of diabetes is, I'll discuss what is type 2 diabetes as well, but so normal symptoms that you will see, one second, किधर है? uh, Leukosuria. Let's start with polyphagia. It will be easier to explain in that sequence. Polyphagia, glucosuria, polydipsia, and polyuria. So these are the classic signs of your diabetes mellitus. Now, what do each of them um, mean? Whenever there is polyphagia, basically means increased hunger. How does that occur? Whenever there is increased amount of glucose present in your blood, so let's say I have a lot of glucose molecules that are let's say there are a lot of glucose molecules that are being accumulated inside the blood, and they are not able to go inside the tissue. So let's suppose this is a surrounding tissue or surrounding cell, and these glucose molecules are not able to enter into the cell, specifically because of lack of insulin, right? There is no insulin, because of which glucose molecules tend to get accumulated inside your blood. Now your body obviously still needs energy to function normally. What it will do is it will start breaking down fat by lipolysis, okay, and it will break down muscle. Okay, basically you will go into a catabolic state. That is what happens whenever there is excessive amount of glucose, specifically in diabetes mellitus. What is happening is glucose is accumulating in the blood, which is not being utilized by the cell, specifically because of lack of insulin, enough amount of insulin. Type 1 diabetes या type 2 diabetes में एक अलग mechanism से होता, but in any case glucose is not able to go inside the cell, right? Giving energy, is not able to give energy to the cell. What ends up happening is your body will try to find some other way to get energy. That other way of getting energy is basically breaking down fat and breaking down muscle. Now think of your body um as a country, okay, and these what you call tissues as different expenses or different things that your body has to maintain. If it is getting enough money, it is able to maintain different things, okay. For example, let's suppose fat cells are your flight, muscle cell are your railways, some other thing, for example, anything, okay. Now if your country has enough money, here money will represent energy, okay. So if it has enough money, it will be able to spend that money in maintaining those different systems, and some systems are more expensive than other systems, right? For example, if I open a hotel versus I open a multi specialty hospital, there is a very high chance that the hospital will cost much more to my country than the hotel. Okay, it will also generate a lot of revenue, but it will cost more, right? Bills and maintaining equipment and all of that, it will cost quite a lot compared to a hotel. Let's suppose I'm taking one small normal hotel, right? Something like a cafe versus a full-fledged multi-specialty hospital. Right? The hospital will charge more, its consumption will be more. In the same way, in your body there are a few tissues who are more they require more calories to be maintained. Okay, they require a lot of energy to be maintained, especially one such vertical tissue is muscle. Muscle is a certain type of tissue that requires a lot of energy to be maintained. That is why people who have a lot of muscle need to eat a certain way to keep their muscle. All right, even just to keep the same amount of muscle that they have, they need to eat a certain amount of calories. Now, in a condition where glucose is not able to get inside your cell, right, here in diabetes your glucose is accumulating in your body. So what your body will do is it will remove the most expensive tissues first. So fat will go away, muscle will go away, it will start breaking down fat and muscle. Okay, it is not able to maintain those two. So what will happen is those two will start breaking down. Whenever fat is broken down through lipolysis, you will get ketone bodies. All right, from muscles you will get other products. We'll not go into deep into that, but you will get some other products from muscles as well. In any case, you are going into a catabolic condition, right? Catabolism is occurring. Whenever there is catabolism, there will be weight loss and there will be hunger, right? Because you are having your muscles that being broken down and your fat being faster being broken down or being used up in the sense. What ends up happening is your body will you will start feeling very hungry, or the diabetic patient will feel very hungry, right? And they will eat a lot. That is polyphagia. Okay, increased hunger, right? Or increased eating as well. ठीक है, ये समझ में आया क्या कॉन्सेप्ट है? What is how polyphagia is occurring? Did you guys understand what is polyphagia and how it is occurring?
No, sir.
You didn't? I didn't hear you properly. Was that a no or a yes?
No, sir.
देखो, रिपीट करना, ठीक है, एक सेकंड। अब देखो, आपके डायबिटीज में क्या हो रहा, टाइप 1 डायबिटीज ले लो. ओके, लेट्स सपोज वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट टाइप 1 डायबिटीज. what happens is, or what is happening is, glucose is being accumulated inside your blood, which is not able to go inside your cell, that we established yesterday. Why it is happening? There is no insulin, meaning glucoreceptors will not come onto surface, meaning glucose cannot be transported into the cell. Okay, that is the basis of today's topic. If you don't remember yesterday's topic, you will not understand today's topic. So I hope you understood yesterday's topic. That is why it is important. They're correlated. Glucose is not able to go inside the cell because there is lack of insulin, or because of another reason which occurs in diabetes mellitus type 2. I'll explain that shortly. But in any case, glucose is accumulating inside your blood. Whenever glucose is accumulating inside your blood, it basically means that glucose is not present to be used by your cells. Your cells will start starving. Basically, they are not getting any food, right? The main type of food that your cells get is glucose. Because the glucose is accumulating in the blood but not able to go inside your cell will start starving, and in turn your body will try to find other methods of getting energy. Okay, there are other methods through which your body can get energy as well. One such method is breaking down tissue that is already present in your body. Okay, especially fat, and after a while, if fat does not suffice, it will start breaking down muscle as well. Okay, so breakdown of fat by lipolysis and breakdown of muscle, both of them will end up giving you energy. Okay, those intermediate products that are formed, those are given to your cell, and your cell will convert those products into ATP and energy. Basically your cell is still surviving, but the process through which it's surviving is catabolism, in the sense that during this period of time what will happen is both your muscle mass and your fat mass will go down. Okay, that is the basic mechanism. Abhi samajh mein aaya?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so when muscle mass and fat mass are going down and you are in a catabolic state where anabolism मतलब makeup है ना. मेटाबॉलिज्म के दो फॉर्म्स रहते हैं, कैटाबॉलिज्म एंड एनाबॉलिज्म. एनाबॉलिज्म इज मेकिंग अप, कैटाबॉलिज्म इज ब्रेकिंग डाउन. if your body is continuously in catabolism, you will obviously get hungry, right? Weight loss will occur because fat tissue and muscle tissue is being broken down. In turn it will cause weight loss, in turn that will cause increased hunger, and you will eat several times. That is polyphagia. All right, Coming to the next one, polyglucosuria. Now what happens is there is excessive amount of glucose in your blood which will obviously get filtered through your kidneys, right? Your kidney needs to filter this what do you call glucose. What happens is, if try to remember renal threshold of what do you call glucose, it is around 180 mg per dl, right? We discussed that isse pehle. This basically means that if your blood glucose goes over 180 milligrams per deciliter, it will start being excreted in your urine. Right? We discussed this in the chapter urine that we studied. Whenever there is excessive amount of glucose present in your blood, after a certain level, that level is around 180 milligrams per deciliter. After that level, you will start seeing glucose being excreted through your urine. Now the same thing happens in your diabetes. What will happen is, when blood is getting filtered through your kidneys, you will see a little bit of glucose being inside being present inside your urine. So let's suppose, so this is your urine, and what happens is you will see small particles of glucose present inside them. Normally they should not be present, or very trace amounts, but in diabetes you will start seeing a lot of glucose present in your urine. That is glucosuria. Okay, that is because your glucose is being filtered out by your kidneys. Now whenever glucose is being excreted out of your body through urine, glucose, remember, is a very osmotically active compound. It will not come out as is. This fellow, because it is osmotically active, it will pull a little bit of more water inside as well. Okay, I'll repeat once again, glucose is an osmotically active molecule, so it will not come out as is. It will start pulling more amount of water towards it. In the sense, what will happen is, the amount of urine that a person is urinating, that will increase. All right. So basically what will happen is polyuria. Patient will urinate very frequently, and patient will urinate more amount of time. Sometimes you will also see urinary incontinence in patients with diabetes. They will not be able to control their urination, specifically because a lot of glucose is trying to come out, and that glucose is pulling water away from your body as well. And obviously whenever a lot of water is coming out of your body, what will happen? Dehydration, right? If a lot of water is coming out through urine, it will cause dehydration. If there is dehydration, you will feel thirsty. That is polydipsia. You will drink a lot. Okay, so those are the four classic signs of your diabetes mellitus. Polyphagia is increased hunger due to catabolism. Glucosuria is basically increased excretion or excretion of glucose from your body through urine. Whenever glucose is being excreted, it will pull water along with it, because of which more urine content will be formed. So you will urinate more than normal. That will lead to dehydration. Please stop that. Who did this? Right. Because of increased urination, you will feel dehydrated, which in turn will cause what you call polydipsia, wherein you are drinking more amount of water, and because you're urinating more, that is polyuria. All right. Those are the four main symptoms of your diabetes mellitus. All right. Now coming to one specific complication that occurs in type 1 diabetes, something called diabetic ketoacidosis. We'll go over other complications as well, but this one is common and mostly seen in type 1 diabetes. It is called diabetic ketoacidosis. Now what is this? Whenever your body, as I told you, at one point of time glucose is not able to go inside your cell is becoming hungry, and your body starts breaking down fat, okay, through lipolysis. So let's suppose I have a fat molecule like this. Okay, let's suppose this is a molecule of fat, and what happens is, this fellow will undergo lipolysis, basically breaking down of fat, right? Lipid breakdown. Whenever it undergoes lipolysis, you will get two products, fat and fatty acids. Specifically fat, from fat you will get fatty acids. So initially you get fat, and from fat you get fatty acids. Okay, You can also categorize if adipose tissue in turn contains fat. So if adipose tissue ka fat is being broken down through lipolysis, that way also you are technically correct. So lipolysis will follow here as well. You are basically trying to break down fat. Okay, here or here, either way, you end up getting fatty acids. Why is this important? Fatty acids are converted by your liver. Whenever there is fatty acid present in your blood, it will go straight to your liver and it will be converted into ketone bodies. Okay, that is how you normally get energy in case of diabetes. One way through which you can get energy. Now, ketone bodies, especially one type of ketone bodies, you get two types of ketone bodies in this case, acetoacetic acid and beta hydroxybutyric acid. But here the important one is acetoacetic acid. Why? So whenever liver is converting fatty acids into ketones, you get two types of ketones, acetoacetic acid and beta hydroxy butyric acid. Okay, for now keep beta hydroxybutyric acid on the side. Now let's concentrate on acetoacetic acid. This fellow is more important, especially in our condition. What does this fellow do? This fellow does two things. One thing is it will directly provide energy to your body. Okay, energy to your cells. That is well and good, nice. Another thing it will do is acetoacetic acid will increase the acidity level. Okay, it will increase acidity or it will decrease the pH of your blood. Okay, whenever there is increased acidity of your blood, some things will happen. Okay, the patient will have, whenever there is increased amount of acid in your blood, the acetoacetic acid is an acid that will in turn cause decrease in pH and cause acidity in your blood, because of which the patient will have something called cosmal respiration. Okay, so they will have something called cosmal respiration. Basically यहाँ पर when blood acid level increases, you are having a condition of metabolic acidosis. We studied about metabolic acidosis in briefly in your water electrolyte balance. If you remember, I told you the cycle in which carbonic acid is removed out in the form of carbon dioxide if there is respiratory acidosis, and the opposite occurs whenever there is respiratory alkalosis. Something similar happens here. In case of increased acidity, your body will respond by causing cosmal respiration. Cosmal respiration is basically deep and labored breathing. So the patient will they will breathe very deeply, sorry, and they will try to excrete as much amount of carbon dioxide as possible. Okay, why does that happen? If you are trying to excrete as much amount of carbon dioxide as possible, you are basically decreasing acidity by decreasing the amount of carbonic acid that is formed. Now carbon dioxide, if it is present inside your body, it will be in one form, that is carbonic acid, H2CO3. Okay, we went over it in buffers, right? Whenever H2CO3 amount is more in your blood, it will also indicate acidity. Here one way of decreasing acidity is decreasing H2CO3 levels. H2CO3 levels can be decreased by increasing respiration. Whenever someone is respirating deeply and they are respirating more, they will basically exhale more amount of carbon dioxide out. So what ends up happening is, if more carbon dioxide is leaving your body, lesser amount of H2CO3 is present in your blood, because H2CO3 is converted into carbon dioxide and thrown out, right? So that is one thing that you will see. And some patients will also have hyperkalemia. All right, now along with this, what ends up happening is, so one second, yeah. So let's suppose in such patients, I apply some form of stress. Okay, specific. This can be any type of stress. Okay, let's suppose I'm using infection as a stressor agent. Okay, so it is inducing some kind of stress on your body. What happens in such diabetic patients? All right, whenever there is stress, epinephrine is released. Okay, in your body, one common the common response is, whenever that person is in stress, epinephrine is released. Epinephrine released. Okay, what does epinephrine do? Epinephrine in turn Epinephrine is a hyperglycemic hormone. This fellow will cause glucagon to be released. Okay, so glucagon, right? Glucagon to be released. Whenever there is increased amount of glucagon in your blood, what will happen? Blood glucose level will shoot up again. Right. So when blood glucose level increases, again the same cycle will happen. More amount of glucose will be excreted through your urine and dehydration will occur. Right. And obviously whenever during this period of time insulin is not able to do this job, this is all happening in a diabetic mellitus patient. Okay, during this period of time, even if there is increased amount of glucagon, because of which there is increased amount of glucose, remember that your body is not able to use that glucose, basically because there is lack of insulin. That glucose is still staying inside your blood. What ends up happening is, because of this stress, your body will hasten the process of trying to find a separate source. Basically catabolism of muscle and fat will occur faster. So what will happen is, need for an alternative source of energy. See, even though glucose level is high in your blood, in diabetes it is not able to use, it is not being able to, it is not being used up by your cell, right? Because of which, how much ever glucose you increase, it will have some negative effects on your body, but your cells will not get any energy, they will starve. Okay, that is why your body is trying to find other sources of energy. In this process, it will form ketone bodies. So ketone body generation, right? Ketone body generation will cause DKA or diabetic ketoacidosis. It is acidosis because specifically because it is acetoacetic acid that is causing the type of complication. That is why it is acidosis, and it ends up causing acidosis. It is increasing your acidity in your blood. Because of which, what happens is the patient will have a few symptoms. Okay, they will start experiencing nausea. They will have vomiting. Mental status changes. Basically they will go into delirium, and basically they will not be mentally healthy. Okay, and acute cerebral edema, all of this can happen from diabetic ketoacidosis. This is the chain. Okay, that blood glucose level increases here. From here on out it can go to other complications as well. For now we only discussed one complication. Okay, that is specially seen in type 1 diabetes. Right, ये समझ में आया कि how is it working, what is diabetic ketoacidosis, and what is the cycle? Did you guys understand or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Coming to type 2 diabetes, very similar to type 1 diabetes in the sense that glucose is still not able to go inside. So I have my blood, and apparently I have blue colored vessels, but okay, I have blood with glucose inside them, and this blood glucose is not able to go inside the cell. This is specifically because in this condition the patient has insulin. Okay, they might have normal amount of insulin, they might have slightly less amount of insulin, or they might have excessive amount of insulin as well. But what happens is, because insulin receptor is not working properly, if you remember, there is something called an insulin receptor on which insulin comes and attaches. I told you yesterday, insulin comes and attaches to the insulin receptor, which will cause some conformation changes in your cytoplasm, where a vesicle containing GLUT receptors will come and attach to the cell surface. These GLUT receptors will come and attach here on the cytoplasm, or basically on the cell wall and cell membrane, sorry, not cell wall. Glucose is able to come inside, right? So it is able to come inside like this. That is the basic mechanism how glucose entry occurs. In diabetes type 2, okay, type 2 diabetes mellitus, what is happening is, this fellow is not working properly. There is insulin receptor resistance. ठीक है, और insulin resistance. That is why this type of diabetes is also called insulin resistant diabetes. Okay, the receptor becomes resistant to insulin. So even if insulin is present nearby, that receptor is not able to recognize the insulin molecule. Think of it this way: you go to a particular, let's suppose you are going to your home, you have locked your room and gone out for some purpose, and you are going back to your home, and you use the same key, obviously, to open the lock that you lock the door, right? Now let's suppose that key is not fitting inside, or that lock is not opening because of the key. You will not be able to enter the home, right? The same thing is happening here. Because of some problem, that lock is not working properly, right? It has become resistant to insulin. In the same way your lock has become resistant to the key, your insulin receptor in diabetes type 2, diabetes mellitus type 2, insulin is not able to attach to this, because of which glucose will not be able to come inside. Ultimately what will happen? The same thing, glucose level will increase in your blood. Now there are several factors associated with insulin resistance. One common factor that is highly associated is high caloric diet. So someone who eats way above their caloric limit and who lives a very sedentary life, they do not move around a lot, there is very little activity, they are at a high risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Okay, major risk factor. All right. Other than that, if they have increased amount of triglycerides present in their blood, high fat levels, reduced HDL, or increased LDL. आप लोगों को लिपोप्रोटीन्स के बारे में पढ़ा है अब तक कभी? न्यूट्रिशन में हुआ, we'll come across it in fats anyway, but have you ever been taught about lipoproteins? What is VLDL, HDL, LDL, and IDL, also called chylomicrons? No? Yes? See, you guys need to talk at okay, then
Yes, sir.
no, you haven't been taught.
So we have been.
You have been taught? One fellow is
Yes,
telling you
sir.
haven't been taught. कौन से सब्जेक्ट में पढ़ा है?
Nutrition.
न्यूट्रिशन में पढ़ा दिए. So you know what is VLDL, HDL, and LDL.
No, not VLDL, just that lipoproteins
What is
introduction.
You haven't been taught the types of lipoproteins.
No, sir.
Lipoproteins के 4 types रहते हैं. HDL, high density lipoprotein, VLDL, very low density lipoprotein, LDL, low density lipoprotein, and IDL, also called chylomicrons, intermediate density lipoproteins. Lipoprotein का काम क्या है? It is a protein that is transporting lipid. Okay. Now, depending on the type of lipoprotein, it will transport from one area to the other. HDL is a good type of lipoprotein because this fellow will transport circulating fat molecules. So fat molecules that are present around your blood, in your blood and circulating around, it will capture all those fat molecules and it will send them to your liver to get metabolized. LDL will do exactly opposite. It will take whatever fat is present inside the liver and it will spread all around the body. Ideally, you want high amounts of HDL and low amounts of LDL. That is the basic of it. समझ में आया? What is HDL? What is LDL? What is their significance? You will study about them a little bit in more detail in your fat metabolism as well. But इतना तो समझ में आया ना?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Now, what is happening is in patients who have type 2 diabetes, LDL level is increasing a lot, because of which circulatory fat will be very high in them. Okay, if you take a blood sample, you will be able to find a lot of fat circulating around in their blood, and you will see a lot of LDL present inside their blood, lot of low density lipoprotein, and sometimes even lower amounts of high density lipoprotein. So high amounts of LDL and low amounts of HDL. That is a disastrous combo. All right. In any case, diabetes type 2 mellitus में ये हो रहा, wherein क्या बोलते हैं, glucose again is getting accumulated inside. ठीक है, 1 second, let me just take your attendance. आज क्या है, 14th ना? हाँ जी, कौन कौन आए? अदनान, किशन,
sir.
Akansha, Akshara, Alan, Archana, Balaji, Dharani, Elizabeth, Karan, खालिदा, और कौन है? लवली, मोइज, सोहेल, राइफुद्दीन, श्री लक्ष्मी, उज्ज्वला. Anyone else? देखो, I'll read out the list of present people once in case you have missed. बोलो. अदनान, किशन, आकांक्षा, अक्षरा, एलन, अर्चना, बालाजी, धरणी, एलिजाबेथ, करण, खालिदा, लवली, मोइज, सोहेल, राइफुद्दीन, श्रीलक्ष्मी, उज्ज्वला. कोई मिस हुए? पूरा है ना? 17 people. Yep, 17. Okay, now coming back to diabetes type 2 mellitus. So that was about type 2 diabetes, what is happening in that. Now there are a few complications that are associated with diabetes as well. Okay, as the disease progresses, what will happen is the patient will develop a few side effects or side diseases in a way. Okay, complication is something that is occurring along with the disease which is related to the disease. Okay, so for example, अगर tuberculosis लिया, ठीक है, tuberculosis में mainly lung damage हो रहा, that we know. There'll be a lot of cough and there'll be a lot of lung damage. But tuberculosis में there can also be brain damage. There can also be kidney damage. There can also be liver damage if it progresses a lot. ठीक है, that will be a complication. Like that, in diabetes, one complication is diabetic ketoacidosis that we just discussed, right? Other than that, there are a few other complications like vascular diseases. Now, generally with diabetes mellitus, vascular diseases like atherosclerosis, atheromas will be formed. Atheromas are basically small plaque-like structures that will form in the wall of your blood vessel. So there will be something like this. Okay? So this is an atheroma. uh, they are small, small care. Sometimes they are small, sometimes they are large enough where they are blocking the whole blood vessel itself. They basically will cause high blood pressure because they are blocking the pathway of blood. All right, and they will cause other associated diseases as well. We will study a little bit more about atherosclerosis later on, but atherosclerosis is something that will occur, and this part of the blood vessel will undergo sclerosis. Obviously, this part of the blood vessel will not work properly. Diabetes mellitus will also affect the eyes. So there is something called what do you call a diabetic retinopathy that will occur. What will happen is the small blood vessels that are present in the eye of a diabetic patient, they will hemorrhage. They will break down because of excessive amount of glucose. They will undergo damage, and you will see small, small cotton wool spots in your eye. If you look closely, small vascular abnormality, microvascular abnormalities can be seen. Sometimes it might even lead to blindness. Other than that, there is something called diabetic neuropathy that occurs. So basically what happens is peripheral neuropathy. Uh, Peripheral nerves जो रहते हैं, specifically your limbs and all, what ends up happening is the nerves around those area will start getting damaged, and to the extent that those nerves will become irresponsive and they'll become insensitive, the patient might have weakness in that part of the body as well. Either be peripheral neuropathy ho rahi, wherever what you call the nerves are being damaged, they might cause what you call paresthesia or slight weakness or maybe even paralysis if it goes very extreme. This can also lead to something called foot ulcers. Now, generally, increased amount of blood glucose and peripheral neuropathy will give to a give rise to a very nasty complication called foot ulcers. If you see diabetic patients, they will have something called foot ulcers, and the sole of their foot they will have small, small ulcers, and they will not heal properly because glucose messes up with coagulation cycle, and it will impair wound healing. Okay, you will study more about wound healing next year, but your body's wounds will not be able to heal properly in case of diabetes, because of which what happens is, especially if ulcer occurs beneath your foot, basically on the sole of your foot, they will generally tend to go towards gangrene. Okay, it's a special type of necrosis, special type of cell death, which is necrosis. Special type of necrosis is gangrene. Okay, you'll be able to see gangrenous ulcers at the sole of the foot. Sometimes if diabetes is occurring in pregnant women, what ends up happening is their babies. So I'm telling about a condition called gestational diabetes. Okay, special condition where pregnant women will get diabetes. In those conditions, insulin will cause the babies to be larger in size, because insulin itself is an anabolic hormone. What will happen is, whenever they have diabetic when you have a diabetic mother, excessive amount of insulin is secreted by her body. Let's suppose it is type 2 diabetes mellitus. Her body will respond by producing a lot of insulin, even though the receptor is not working properly. Your body does not know that the receptor is not working properly. It will think insulin level is low, because of which it will start producing more and more insulin. In such a condition where a pregnant woman is having diabetes, that insulin will go through the placenta towards your baby and it will cause anabolism. It might also cause intrauterine death, it might cause fetal abnormalities, premature birth, or sometimes it will have there are chances of abortion. Okay, all of that can happen when a pregnant woman gets diabetes, right? So these are the complications of diabetes. Your management will basically include, how you manage is, diet and exercise are quite important. You need to maintain a healthy body weight, and you need to what you call, have activity in your body, right? Even if you're leading a very sedentary life, it can be a problem. Sedentary meaning inactive life. So you need to have some kind of physical activity in your life, like 15, 20, 30 minutes of physical activity every day, moderate intensity, that is also more than enough, right? But done regularly. Other than that, giving oral hypoglycemic agents to patients who need them, that will externally decrease the amount of glucose level in blood. And in some cases, type 1 में तो insulin देना ही पड़ता है. In some extreme cases of type 2, you'll have to give insulin as well. All right, so that is about the management and complications of diabetes mellitus. This officially completes your metabolism of carbohydrates. All right, so I hope you understood the jargon. We'll start tomorrow with some other types of metabolism, or we'll start something else. All right, I have 3 more chapters left. I hope you understood today's class. Chalo.